y'all really need to check in on those middle classers, because I'm telling you, I just went to the grocery store. I bought about 5 days worth of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, some fresh produce, maybe a bag of chips and a gallon of juice. And let me tell you, $400. What? Half my check gone. You know, we make too much to get any EBT.
Ooh, half of your check gone after $400? That means you making a 800. I'm assuming every 2 weeks. Most people get paid every 2 weeks. So, hey, as a woman, as a man, we can grind it out. I seen it. As men, we can grind it out. 800 every 2 weeks. You know, that's not a lot, but hey, even if it's 800 every week, you know, there's guys that can, grind that out. Shit, I know I could. With the roommates I got, the brethren I have that help me, and we help each other, and we are all codependent on each other and help each other. Oh yeah, trust, believe, we could grind that out easily. The problem is, women are consumers. They gotta spend that bread. They gotta spend that bread to be happy, keep up with the Joneses, all that.
With any kind of government assistance, anything, I'm telling you, it's a hard life out here, especially for those middle class people. So y'all need to check in, because we out here hurting, okay?
I don't want to get real political or anything, but you guys got to check out this video.
I went to Target yesterday and bought 2 bottles of hair product, a bottle of shampoo, a box of trash bags, and 1 Halloween decoration. $70 on my Target Red card. That's with my 5% discount. My son's looking at the cart and going, Mom, this was $70. We didn't even get anything. Yeah, I know, kid. And he doesn't even remember a time when you could get a 2-bedroom apartment in a decent area of town for $600 a month. Now a 1-bedroom apartment in a mediocre part of town is $2,000 a month. Gas is $5.49 a gallon. It cost me $65 to fill up my tank. Before COVID, my grocery bill per month was $350. Now it's $600 a month, and I buy the exact same amount of groceries. This shit is out of control. What does the bourgeoisie think that the outcome of this is going to be? They cannot possibly believe that extracting every last dime out of the working class by inflating all of the prices and paying us poverty wages is a sustainable economic model. And the thing is that I could be mad at the bourgeoisie all day long, but they are doing exactly what is expected. They are greedy sociopaths. This is what they do. I am more mad at Americans because instead of uniting against this common enemy who is robbing us blind, we are fighting over whether or not drag queens can read books to children. At what point are we going to stop taking this shit lying down, put our foots down, and say, fuck this, and not allow it anymore? We cannot even afford to live in this country. We can't even afford to die in this country. The Republican Party is bought and paid for by the same greedy sociopaths who are robbing you, me, and our families blind every day. They are manipulating you into believing that they are going to save you from the problems that they created in your life. They have not walked a single inch in your working class shoes. They have no idea the struggle that you and I go through every day in this economy just to feed our families and keep them safe. They are gaslighting you into believing that I am your enemy so that you're distracted while they continue to do their dirt behind your back, because they know that if you knew what they were doing, you wouldn't vote for them anymore. Why are you listening to them? The Democratic Party, with the exception of a very small few, is filled with weak and spineless politicians who placate to everyone just so that they can get reelected because they want to maintain some semblance of power in Congress. Why are you placing all of your faith and hope in this party to save us?
There's a song that goes, girls just want to have fun. And that's the truth. Girls just want to have fun. But what happens when there's no fun to have? When the bread and circus is out of this place? Now, look, she's become a whole damn politician. Isn't it ironic and funny how now you want to be, involved in politics and this and that and all this stuff like that? And she can have fun and ride a cop carousel and, with no consequences, was born as many babies as she wanted to, get on OnlyFans, all type of money and all type of attention. She she wouldn't be saying anything political. She'd shut her ass up. But the bread and circus is gone from this place. It costs money to have fun if you a woman. Man, we can have fun for free. Or we'll pay a one-time fee and can have fun with that same shit for years upon end. Buy one video game one time and that keep you at the club and keep you from going so many places, save you money, you just play it all night. You wanted to. Women, they spend money, they gotta go to the club, gotta constantly, pay to get in. If you're not a bad chick, you gotta buy your own drinks if you're not a bad chick. Nowadays, a lot of guys from I heard they're not even buying women drinks. You gotta get your hair done, because you can't go out with your girlfriends and you the only one that got your hair done. Y'all gotta get your hair done at the same time. Costs money for them to have fun.
Your religious leaders are funded by the same corporate sponsors who have bought your politicians, and they are weaponizing your faith against you so that you are distracted by a made-up enemy, your gay neighbor or your liberal coworker, so that you are not paying attention to the extreme financial crimes that they are committing against all of us right under your nose. In the richest country in the world, 500,000 people are homeless when there are more than enough homes to house them, and millions of children are hungry or food insecure, having their one free meal taken away from them at school. 10-year-olds are being forced to bear the child of their rapist. People are rationing their insulin and dying because they cannot afford health care. The water's polluted, the air is polluted, the soil is devoid of nutrients because we have oversaturated it in pesticides. We're not going to be able to grow our own food in the coming decades. The planet is literally dying. And they are putting hotels up in space and telling you that they can't afford to pay you a living wage, and you are believing them. This period is going to go down in the history books as one of the most epic failures that America ever allowed to happen. Future generations are going to study this time in history and ask themselves, why did they not do anything? How could they not see? And if you're sitting behind your phone right now and thinking to yourself, it's not me, it's those goddamn weirdo trans kids, then you are the people that they will be talking about. Wake the fuck up.
At this point, I think we might be living at our in-laws' house until, we get old and gray, because the housing market is absolutely ridiculous. It's so sad because back in the day, you were able to just go to school, get a good job, get married, be able to buy a house, start a family, and possibly be able to stay part-time at home even with the children to help raise them. Now it's like, no, you get married, where are you living? Maybe we're going to live in a shoebox, maybe we're going to be homeless living on the street, because why is a one-bedroom, one-bath like $800,000? Like, I'm just trying to wrap my head around how things are going right now, because it's like, it's pretty hopeless for this generation, for us that are trying to start our lives and get a place. It's like, rent is absolutely insane. You can't save any money to be able to buy a place. They don't want us to own anything.
And let me stop intervening for a second. I remember growing up, and even as an adult here, I'm independent, I don't need no man. Yeah, you do. Matter of fact, at this point, you can't afford to not have a man. You need the financial support of a man, if nothing else, at this point. As a woman, yes, you need a man. And that's not nothing to be ashamed of. That's not anything to be ashamed of. You're the weaker vessel. Who's going to knock you for needing a man? But they've been brainwashed by feminism, and the serpent, to tell them that, you know what, I got you. You don't need no man. But, however, yes, you do. When these jobs start losing, a lot of these women jobs are some of the first ones to go. Because at the end of the day, somebody got to do the physical labor that women can't do. That going in the sewers, They not getting no layoffs and cuts. You know, people that's building homes, you know, doing brick and mortar, they're not getting laid off in masses. But the ones that working at Quicken Loans and the bank managers and bank tellers, yeah, women jobs, sitting behind computers. Now they got AI to do all your shit. Yeah, you got women who got $100,000 a year jobs that are losing their damn mind because they're losing their jobs and their jobs is getting cut, is getting taken over by AI.
They literally want to like destroy your dreams of starting a life. It's just so embarrassing.
So on today's episode of Why Are They Charging That Much for Rent, my downstairs neighbor, okay, exact same floor plan that I have. I signed my lease in January, and I know there's gonna be people that's like, that's cheap or that's expensive, but whatever. 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,100 square feet. I pay $1,639 before they add stuff. But my base rent is $1,639. After everything, it's $1,715. That's what I pay every month. Okay, so $1,639. So my downstairs neighbors lived there for like 2 months and then moved out. I would love to know the tea on that, I would. And if you've been here since my Florida days, I'm not talking about the downstairs neighbors that called the cops. That's a whole separate story in a whole separate state, okay? Now we're in Texas. So anyways, downstairs neighbors move out. They moved out in Florida too, but also Texas. And I'm like, so I go on the website to see how much they're renting that apartment for. Keep in mind my $1,639. $2,247. I know every realtor's argument's gonna be like, yeah, but it's the summer, it's a peak time to move. Is that not like a $600 increase in the last 5 months? I'm gonna need to have like a chat with whoever signed that lease, genuinely. Because you're getting robbed. They haven't even moved in yet. I don't know if anyone has, but it was the only 2-bed, 2-bath apartment open for $2,247.
This morning I read that if your parents make $100K 40 years ago in 1983, then you'd have to make $292,000 in 2023 just to have the same purchasing power adjusted for inflation. 300K is the new 100K.
Wow. I remember back in the day, $100,000, you was almost considered rich. But unfortunately today, that's basic normal income. That's nothing.
Guys, talk about Halloween, talk about horror, talk about scary. 80% of Americans have run out of money. Okay, the Federal Reserve just published a study stating that only 20% of the richest Americans still have excess savings after the pandemic. And the other 80% have less cash on hand than before the pandemic began. Households saved a combined $2.3 trillion during the various pandemic lockdowns. Like, the savings rate was going up, and it's estimated that 1.3 trillion of that has now been spent.
Listen to me. I will never be able to afford a house. I will never be able to afford a house.
Home prices are rising nationwide as inflation remains stubborn and mortgage rates remain high as Americans compete for fewer available homes. Home prices in March were up 0.4% compared to February. Now that's the second month in a row that we have seen gains.
My parents' house that is $195,000 back in '96 is now worth like $500,000 to $700,000. My children will never be able to have the life I live because I can't afford to do it.
Now, this is in part of women being told that and believing that they don't need a man. It's expensive to be strong and independent and not need a man. It's expensive. To have that mentality, and expensive to live by that. Now, I want to get this precept real quick. This is Isaiah 13 and verse 20. Isaiah 13 and verse 12 says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Now, that's very, very precious. And as men, we're becoming more precious. But it's going to be even more precious when time of Jacob trouble comes and all of a sudden a lot of men are getting killed because of these wars and race riots and stuff like that. Oh yeah, then we're going to go back to Isaiah chapter 4. 7 women to take hold of one man. And on that note, I'm going to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bashibi Awashai, Bashibaka Kodash, Barakatah, double honors to the elders, G. Well, peace, citations, and shalom.